Oh, thanks. 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 Thanks.
Cleohe Tower, Icon ready for takeoff, runway 22.
Icon, cleared for immediate departure.
Hey, John, I didn't know you had the morning shift.
You bet, Lieutenant. You got students waiting for you when you get back?
Affirmative. Icon out.
Thanks.
You ready to fly? Move the controller right and left to turn, or forward and back to climb and descend.
Thanks.
You see those hot air balloons ahead of us? Let's weave our way around them. Try not to hit them, though. Very nice. You didn't quite get around that one. Turn a little harder. One more. Let's see if you can get around this last balloon. This next balloon is higher. We'll have to climb to it. Go ahead and throttle up to full. Good. See how our speed decreases as we climb, even with full throttle? Always throttle up to climb. Try not to climb too steeply, or we'll slow down too much and stall. Good job. We'll have to descend to get to the next balloon. See how our speed increases when we descend? Throttle back when descending. Nicely done. Let's put your new skills to use and make your first landing. Turn right and line up with the runway. Lower the landing gear as well. Throttle down to about 45% for our approach. Getting close. Throttle down to idle, lift the nose, and let the aircraft settle onto the ground.
Okay.
Pretty nice landing for your first try. Great job on your first flight. I have something fun lined up for our next lesson.
Okay, so thanks. Okay. Don't. Think. Think.
You did a great job learning the basics. Listen, I got a special lesson lined up. Your first water landing, and a party. I need a ride out to a friend's wedding. It's out on the bay on a yacht. They've already set sail, so the only way to get out there is in the Icon.
Take a look around this cockpit. Simple, huh? Almost like a car. Now center your view. When you're ready, just push the throttle forward for takeoff. Now pull back smoothly on the stick to lift off the runway. That was easy. Now we're flying. Go ahead and raise the landing gear. Hear that beeping? That's the stall warning. Climb straight out to 500 feet. Lower the nose to gain speed. Good. Now throttle back to 5,500 RPM or about 90% and maintain this altitude. Now turn to a heading of 340. You can see our heading change on the display on the top of the screen and on the GPS in the cockpit. All right, we're on course. Just keep flying at this heading and we should see the yacht along the coast. Currently, you're in cockpit view. This view enables you to manipulate the controls in the cockpit. Why don't you check out the various other views while we have a little time? It's a great way to gain perspective. Free look allows you to easily look at your surroundings. Chase view gives a good sense of the flight path of the aircraft. In flyby view, you can watch your aircraft fly past. Top-down view is helpful for finding your way around an airport. Okay, enough looking around. Let's get to the yacht. If you want to save some time, activate the skip to waypoint command. It'll take us right to the yacht. You'll see this command in most missions, and you can use it at any time when a skip is active. I'm supposed to play the ukulele at the wedding. Do you mind if I practice a little? Well, that's it. I'm sure I'll do better at the wedding. That looks like the yacht we're heading to. Fly past the yacht to set up for our landing. Do a low pass to make sure they see us. That'll let them know that they should stop the boat so we can land. Great, it looks like they saw us. Head north to put some room between us and the yacht. We'll need that space to land. Keep going a little further.
Okay, so
This is far enough. Turn around back toward the yacht. Okay, now we just need to gently descend and slow down to 60 knots for the landing. Bring the throttle back to 25% or 2,500 RPM and use the elevator controls to adjust your speed. Raise the nose to slow down or lower the nose to speed up. Try to land about 100 feet from the boat. Not too close. We don't want to hit it. Throttle back to idle and let the aircraft settle onto the water.
Thanks.
Congratulations on your first water landing. I'm gonna bring us in close so you can get on the yacht without getting wet. Thanks for helping me get out to the wedding.
That's great. Great. Thanks.
Ready to fly the Stearman?
Thanks.
The Boeing PT-17 Stearman was used as a military trainer throughout World War II. After the war, thousands of surplus Stearmans were sold into the civilian market. Many of these were converted for use as crop dusters, a few of which are still operational around the islands. Others are in the hands of aircraft aficionados and airshow performers. The Stearman's great flying qualities, good looks, and open cockpit have made it a true classic. You ready to give it a go? Climb on up.
Okay, so alright.
Take a look around. You'll see that the panel is fairly simple. Pilots use a checklist to help them remember all the steps required to safely operate an aircraft. Go ahead and bring up the checklist. You can manually perform the checklist, run the checklist automatically, or skip it completely. Since we don't have a lot of time in this aircraft, I'll run through the checklist with you and help you out with the steps. Here's the engine start checklist. Brakes, apply and hold. Throttle open to 1/2. Mixture to full rich. Okay, ignition on. Battery goes on. Starter on. And we have ignition.
Throttle back to 800 RPM. Oil pressure looks good. Propeller control, high RPM. Alternator and radios on. Brakes released. Notice how hard it is to see over the nose when on the ground? You can look over the side to get a better view. Go ahead and try it.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Taxi to the runway. Add a little throttle to get us moving.
Mm-hmm.
Go easy on the brakes in a tail dragger, like the Stearman. The tail can come up and flip the plane, so stay aware of that during the takeoff and landing. Hey, we're in the grass. This aircraft can handle it, but try and stay on the taxiway.
Okay.
Stop here and I'll run through the before takeoff check. When lined up and ready, slowly add full throttle. The tail will rise on its own, and a little up elevator will have us flying at around 60 knots. And we're off. Pitch to climb out at 80 miles per hour or about 70 knots. We'll climb straight out to 500 feet and then do a little sightseeing. 500 feet. Level out and maintain this altitude. Set the throttle for cruise at 85% or 22 inches on the manifold pressure. I'll pull the propeller back to 1900 RPM. You may need to trim the nose down as our speed increases. Elevator trim sets the aircraft's pitch for a specific airspeed. Trim down or up until the aircraft flies hands-off at the desired attitude. I see a cruise ship coming into port. Let's make our way out there to get a better look. That's a big ship. Why don't you circle it to get a better view? Yeah, here's where the Stearman really shines. It's a nice, docile airplane with an open cockpit that lets you really enjoy the scenery. Now that we're over water, feel free to put the plane through its paces so you get a good feel for its flight characteristics. When you're ready, start heading back inland to the entrance of the White Pool.
Okay.
We'll follow the river to Rainbow Falls. That should set us up nicely for landing. If you enjoy flying the Stearman, you could fly some sightseeing jobs or fly an aerobatic routine at the local air show. See the bridges crossing the river? We'll follow the river to the falls. When flying sightseeing tours, always fly to the right or the left of the landmark so the passengers get a good view. Let's fly to the right of the river so we can circle the falls to the left when we get there.
Alright, thanks.
Circle the falls to the left, and then we'll start looking for the airport. We want to start heading back. Rainbow Falls is 80 feet tall and ends in a natural pool surrounded by wild ginger.
Thanks.
Straight ahead is Lakahi Park. Use the park as a reference to line up with runway 03. Look for the track and several baseball diamonds.
Thanks.
Getting a perfect landing in a tail dragger is a little more difficult than in a tricycle gear aircraft. Landing hard on the main gear pushes the tail down. If you're carrying too much airspeed, this results in a bounce, or two, or three. So make sure you're nice and slow with a nose-high attitude before touching down. This is called a three-point landing because all the wheels touch at nearly the same time.
You'll
see runway 03 to your left. Go ahead and start turning left to line us up for landing. Time for before landing check. Mixture to rich. Prop RPM to full. For the landing, our approach speed should be about 75 miles per hour or 65 knots. hard to see the runway over the nose on the approach. Some pilots make S turns to keep the runway in sight, or you can just look over the edge of the cockpit. You're a little fast. Throttle back a bit.
Okay. Don't.
Go ahead and pull the throttle to idle. Well, it'll take a little practice to make a good landing. Turn left at the next taxiway. Taxi back to the hangar. Some pilots will make S turns while they taxi to keep a good view out front.
Okay. Don't. Oh, okay.
Try and keep it on the tarmac, would you? Go ahead and park it in front of the hangar.
Okay.
Great. Stop here. I'll run through the engine shutdown checklist. Throttle idle. Prop to low RPM. Ignition goes off. As the engine quits, move the throttle to full. Electrics and battery off.
Great flight. If you want to come back and fly some sightseeing flights, check the job board.
Guys, I think see that.